Hey guys, Matt here, Broken Supercoach, checking in. Teams just dropped. Well, not just, but they've recently dropped. So we'll go through them. We won't go super into it. We'll just talk about the key stuff that we usually do, plus how that affects our trades. And spoiler alert, there's probably not a lot to that we can really do. We've got a choice on the rookie locked in for us, or two rookies really, if you don't have one already. And as far as our big trades go, well, we have to wait till tomorrow more than likely. But that's okay. Let's excuse me there. Hit a like, hit a subscribe. Let's go in. First off, Bryn Tinkle. So if you had him, that's unlucky. Looks like he's been dropped straight out the team, gone straight to the reserves too. So he's not even a backup ruck. If you had him, a lot of people I know cashed out. Perhaps a Grundy, perhaps crashed out. An expensive ruckman at the time. For Bryn Tinkle, no longer. You've got to find a way to get off of that train immediately. What is Bryn Tinkle? Ignore what I've got here traded, by the way, because it's probably not. Oh, it might be. Bryn Tinkle. So at 249, he made you 50k, got dropped. He scored you very little points. Hopefully you don't have him on field and you can worry about that later, but otherwise you're in pretty big trouble there. You've got to find some money to get him off. Not a lot for Melbourne to talk about. Heaps of changes for North, through injuries, through including a coaching change. Wardlaw named, and it looks like he's been named on the field too. So he's first on baller. So I think he's too expensive. I think he's too 193. So it's probably too expensive for a bloke that's doesn't get a run till this many guys get injured. But we'll see. If he plays really well, I suppose he might come in, but I'm a little bit concerned about that. You'd think guys like LDU would certainly be ahead of him. Zerha certainly ahead of him. I'm just not sure. But if he plays well, they have to reward that, I think. Sheasel still named up on the wing with Aaron Hall in, so we're a little bit worried about that if you're not trading Sheasel this week. Mills out, yeah. Did call that he is absolutely horrendous and he'll screw you. So there's proof that he does. Yeah, nothing really to talk about here. I think Goulden's a really good pick now without Mills in the team. I think he's basically all they've got, playing good footy in the midfield. So, yeah, and I think he's probably going to have a field day against these guys. So, I'd like to get Goulden in. I have so far, but it really depends on some other things. Not a lot here. Crows have gone in pretty underdone. It's at Ballarat. They're resting some guys. Duday's out. Not really a lot to talk about there. Who will be the sub out of this lot? Probably Ned again. Could be Sam Berry. Unsure. Not a lot to really think about here. Laird still playing. Went off injured. I think it was a case of... It wasn't HIA, but I think it was a case of that he just took a knock. He's already sore. Might as well sub him. The game was pretty safe at that point as well, really. So, if we can get a full game out of Laird, that would be fantastic, but we'll see. And nothing to talk about here. I don't think any of these teams are really worth... No Sam Sturt, obviously, but none of these teams are really worth talking about. There's nothing to discuss here. So there's your answer. Unchanged team. So Brisbane must feel like this is one of their full-strength sides, outside of perhaps Lions, who isn't even named as the sub. So is he? No, he's not. So Sharp seems pretty good if you're looking for rookies, and even better is Berry's been omitted, probably the sub. So bit of concern there if you went early on him, which I don't think anyone did. That's what I was gonna do. Who's our guy here? Drury. Am I blind or? Yeah, because he plays in North Melbourne. That's probably why. Our boy Drury named on the bench. He'll be in. We love that. Tom Berry out. Potentially the sub. Now, this happened with Dill Williams. Was it Dill Williams? Who was dropped on his third game, named as the sub, and he ended up being the best choice. So, not saying that Tom Berry is, because Sharp is playing. So, we'll go Sharp, and if you haven't got Drury yet, you go Drury. You don't go anywhere near Thomas Berry. Yeah, Jordan Ridley's back, so if you traded him, that's cool. But if you hadn't, then it's Jordan Ridley. Don't have him in your team. He's another one of my guys I highly recommend do not get. Had him early a couple of years ago. Same story. Absolute mistake. Hopper. Yeah, so he's got to go. Setterfield, if you got both, sadly they both got to go, which actually gives you a good bit of money today. And now we're on to Sunday teams. So not a huge amount that we can talk about here. Noah Long's named, so we're pretty happy with that. Chesser named again if you're still stuck with these dead rookies. Hopefully we get to see both of those. I don't think Campbell Chesser can play footy. I was not impressed with him in the slightest. Noah Long I thought was quite good, and I think he's best 22. So, which is my reasoning behind trading Chesser out and Long holding him. So I'd love for him to come back, get some footy in. Big Das named on the bench. First on the bench with Ash Johnson at ruck. Reason being is Cox obviously has had such a big game, and do they want to play with all three? Das, Ash Johnson, and Mason Cox. So I don't know. So Darcy Cameron, Bo McCreary, Jack Crisp, Olev Marcos. Is that the four? That drops Ginnivan. That's no Ginnivan. Yeah, I mean it's tough, isn't it? It's a good thing for them to have, but I don't know if Darcy Cameron gets back in. It'd be cool if he didn't, because we've got some other things to do, but at the same time, if he does, he does. And if he'll be named on the Sunday, we'll grab him if he does. Don't ignore Harvey Harrison. He's new every other weekend. The other one that bothers me is Jack Steele named on the bench as well. So is he doing a late fitness test? We'll see where he's named tomorrow, but we might need to trade him as well. I will trade Jack Steele if he's injured. I've got no problem with that. Marsh named there. So there's not really a lot to talk about here. They're the main key players. So where does that leave us? Probably do something like this. So Sharp, won't field Sharp. What happened there? Chincotta's good enough. None of these guys are coming in for Chincotta. I think Chincotta was pretty good, even though his last week was quite poor. I still think he's good enough to have another run. You got to play the kids. You have to, surely. We'll see. Well, he's not really a kid, is he? But I thought he'd done enough. Oh well, we'll see. If he's not named, then we're in a bit of strife defense-wise. We might have to send Atkins back to cover. And then, if any of these are laid outs, which they unlikely. Anyway, so we'll bring Goulden in. Shout out to I can't remember who it was. Tongue-in-cheek, this, of course, but I was thinking of trading in Goulden last week, and a bloke said in the comments, trade in a real premium by trading Ashcroft. And I put Ashcroft on the bench because I'm an idiot, but Goulden is a real premium, sorry to tell you, lads. This guy's serious. Outside of this one score, where he probably got tagged by Mark O'Connor, this guy's serious. So, you've missed Goulden, I'm sorry to say. That's silly of me. That's 80k down the drain. We'll keep an eye on Jack Steele, because we'll shuffle this around, because to get Darcy Cameron, I'm trading Sheasel. But if Steele is out, then I'll trade Steele. And it'll be... I'll send one of these guys up. Sheasel will remain in the team. And that's who I'll do in order to do this same move. There won't be a different move. It'll be the same move. I'll just have extra money on me to do it. Sharp obviously comes in. Drury sits on the bench. We don't want anything to do with him on the field. And we've got English Marshall. And as far as teams go, Oliver VC into Noah Anderson against Brisbane, because he's pretty huge against them recently. In years past, he had a 135, and that's when he was quite good. And that was at the Gabba as well. So that's what we'll look at. We'll hope that we'll take Oliver's score, but we'll see. Anyway, let us know what you want to do, what trades you're going to look at, who you're bringing in. Is Darcy Cameron getting on your list? Who's your next premium to come in? Do you own Jack Steele? What are you doing with him? Are you trading him? Are you keeping him? We need news about that. So they're sort of the key talking points. We are thin on the bench, and that bothers me a lot. Because bye weeks, if you watch my channel last year, I flew up the rankings in the bye weeks. But you can't fly up the rankings in the bye weeks with 1, 2, probably 3, 4, 5 blokes not playing AFL footy on your bench. So luckily, a lot of people are stuck like that, but gee, it's frustrating regardless. Yeah. Anyway, captain choice. Yeah, sorry. The last thing I want to say: if you have Bont, just captain him against Crows. I know that the Crows have held midfielders really well with Saligo and Keys recently, but they're not tagging Bont. They can try to. They just won't. It won't work. In fact, let's have a look. Historically against the Crows. Oh, yeah, actually, don't captain Bont. Yeah. Bont does not play well at Marvel. But he had a 200 against them at Gold Coast once, so just remember that. But yeah, does not enjoy Ballarat. So I'm not sure about putting the C on Bont, who historically doesn't play well there. Anyway, see ya.